Hey everyone, this is Tracy Chan and today I'm back with another video, but today we're going to talk about the main reasons for a partner visa refusal. For those of you who don't know me, I'm an immigration lawyer based in Australia. I have a law firm called Mason Chen Law Group, and we are based all across Australia. If you need to get in contact with myself or one of our fabulous lawyers, please feel free to contact us in the link below. And before we get started, if you haven't already, I really appreciate it if you like and subscribe and share this video with people who need it. So this is for the partner visa. This is for people who have an Australian partner who are sponsoring them on a partner visa to live in Australia with them. Mainly the ones we'll talk about today is the onshore partner visa, which is called the partner visa subclass 820/801. And the other one is the offshore partner visa, which is partner visa subclass 309/100. The requirements for both are different, and the conditions of applying onshore, offshore, granted onshore, offshore are all different as well. I won't go through those today. Today, we're just talking about the bigger picture and some of the reasons for a partner visa refusal so that you can avoid this. Now, I was looking at the stats the other day, and it's astounding because in 2018, I think the partner visa refusal rate was 42%, which is actually huge. So what are the main reasons for a partner visa refusal? First of all, the applicants never met the partner visa requirements to begin with. So to meet the partner visa requirements, you must be in a committed relationship. So you must meet that definition. And what that definition is, either you are married, you have registered your relationship as a de facto, or you have lived together for at least 12 months prior to the application. So you can't just start dating for 2 months, not get married, not register your relationship, and then lodge a partner visa application. Some people have definitely made that mistake. Second of all is the lack of evidence. I saw a partner visa application the other day, which was refused, and the couple came to us and they were stressing out and they weren't sure why the partner visa was refused. Now, unfortunately, they did engage someone. I don't think it was a registered migration agent or lawyer. It was like a family friend or something like that. And they're like, we gave all the documents to them and I really don't know what happened and all of this. So I logged in, I imported the application into our IMI account with their permission, and I went into the application. There was no documents attached, just like a couple of passports. And then I looked at the correspondence from the department. The department had actually contacted them 3 or 4 times, giving them a chance to provide the documents. I really don't know what happened there. And it's such a shame because it really affects the next stages of this. They've had a partner visa refusal onshore, they had to go offshore to apply for the visa, and they had to spend essentially another $8,000. So it's really, really unfortunate. So it's just important that you are aware, you engage the right help, and you make the right application the first time. So let's have a look at the main criteria, which is the lack of supporting documents first. So you may have seen in my previous videos that they mainly look at 4 aspects of the relationship. So you have to provide overwhelming evidence to meet the criteria of all of them. And it has to be across the entire period of relationship. So if you're claiming your relationship is 3 years, they want to see consistency over the 3 years. So for example, the first aspect, financial aspect. You claim you've been together for 3 years. Then you want to show that you've been sharing finances for the better part of it. If you are claiming to have been together for 3 years, but you've only just started sharing finances and you really don't have much documentation to back that up, could be a reason for refusal. I also did an appeal for another client who had applied for a partner visa. And unfortunately, in this situation, I don't think it was the applicant's fault. I think the documentation could have been presented better. I don't think that the case officer should have refused it. What happened was the sponsor, the husband, was supporting them too. She was obviously from another country, so she wasn't working. So she didn't really have a bank account or any money. So the only thing that they provided was the sponsor's bank statement, and he was paying for the bills, and her name really wasn't on anything. But also she couldn't work because the husband actually got cancer. So she was his full-time carer. She was supporting him for like the whole 2-3 years while this partner visa was actually processing. So I think the evidence could have been presented well to show that, hey, there's a reason why we don't have any financial documents for her, or why she hasn't provided any financial documents. She was busy caring for him. We appealed it and it won, but I don't think it should have been refused in the first place. It definitely could have been presented better to begin with and explained better. Because at the end of the day, the case officers are still human beings. So if you do present it well enough, I think it should have been okay to begin with. Second one is a social aspect. So they want to see that you are accepted as a couple, statements from family and friends, as well as photos from family and friends. And yeah, I've gotten some couples come to me and say, hey, we're kind of antisocial. We don't go out with family and friends. What do we do? Yeah, that's understandable. I'm quite antisocial myself as well sometimes. My partner and myself, we don't go out much either. But look, you can still get something, and probably for the partner visa, you're going to have to start doing it. It doesn't have to be a a lot, just a couple of photos here and there, some statements from family and friends, especially from your family. They actually place a lot of weight from statements from your family. So they can fill out a statutory declaration 888. The minimum is 2, so you definitely need to have 2 from Australian citizens or permanent residents, and you can submit that to the department. Nature of the household. Now they want to see how you are operating as a family unit. So a lot of this comes with, any documentation, any receipts you have of purchasing furniture together, purchasing a fridge, as well as a statement on how you run as a family unit. So who does the shopping, who does the cleaning, who does the cooking, you can write about that. And the department, when they read those statements, it's pretty clear. They know whether it's authentic or not. And lastly is your nature of commitment to each other. So they're going to look at, what steps you guys are taking as a couple to be fully committed to each other. For example, your superannuation, if you've listed each other as a beneficiary as well, that's super important. Joint travel, talking to each other every day. Now I know that if you live together, you're not going to be chatting all day on text message, but there's some messages that make it really clear that you guys are, committed to each other. Like, hey, I'm coming home soon. Can you start cooking? Things like that. So those are the things for you to think about. The one thing that I must mention is that you don't need a lot of photos. I've seen instances where our clients give us 100 photos. The department don't want to see it. They've said max 8 to 10 photos. They're not interested because they think that, first of all, it's very easy to take photos, so anyone can kind of take photos. So just put the important ones in, such as, family events, social gatherings. Those are important ones. Not ones of, you at home, just sitting on the couch together, things like that. Not that important. Some other things to be really careful of is at the time of visa lodgement, try to attach all the documents. When we do that and prepare the application accordingly, the processing is very fast. I had a partner visa application processed in 3 weeks the other day. Try to have relevant descriptions for things that need it. So for example, if you got a bank statement and you're transferring money to the other person and you put a weird description in the transfer, transferring to bub or something like that. For example, I've seen where couples transfer money to each other and the description is transfer to muffin. That's very cute, but just probably highlight it and say this is a transfer to my partner Alice or something like that. Make sure the documents are all clear and legible. So many times we received documents that I couldn't read. They weren't legible. I couldn't read it. So if I can't read it, the case officer definitely isn't going to bother to try and read it either. And then lastly, some of the other reasons for visa refusal is the character test. So both the sponsor and the applicant must meet the character criteria. So no major offenses, no imprisonments, especially over 12 months, something to definitely look at. If it is the case, then look, there's other avenues for this. You can apply for a waiver. That's a completely different kettle of fish, and probably I'll talk about in another video because I can go on for hours and hours in regards to that. There's the health criteria as well. So you must meet the health criteria. However, again, if you do have health issues, partner visa is one of the ones that you can apply for a health waiver. We've done many of these. For example, if the visa applicant has HIV, these are some of the examples of health waivers we have successfully applied for. The sponsorship of the application must also be approved. Very simple. As a sponsor, you need to meet the criteria. But in that sense, that just means that you're not in a relationship with anyone else and you meet the character test essentially. There's no financial test or anything like that. So don't worry about that too much. That is the general gist of it. There is other reasons. I'll probably do a part 2 video in relation to it, but they get a little bit more complicated. It's more to do with the legal criteria. It gets a little bit more complicated. For example, if you didn't hold the right visa at the time of lodging, there's other bits and pieces, but let's do that in the next video. I hope you guys liked that video. I hope you learned a lot from it, and don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.